Gareth, today I'd like to touch on the thorny issue of preparation, or rather the lack of preparation. And what I mean by that is, whilst some people who are great at what they do, in the context of being a great commercial manager, do thoroughly prepare, and they would be part of that 5% club we've spoken about before, many often don't. And they usually cite lack of time as one of the reasons why they don't prepare. What do you experience about this, and what do you think the implications are?
Yeah, it's very common. I mean, when things get busy, preparation is one of the very first things that gets dropped. And of course, ultimately, that leads to underperformance, because if you haven't prepared for a good customer meeting, first of all, you're likely not to know what you're looking to achieve. You haven't really prepared the conversation. You might have just copied and pasted from a presentation that you used a couple of weeks ago. Ultimately, your lack of preparation shows, and that's very frustrating all around.
I suppose paradoxically, the fact is you're less likely to succeed, as you said, which then in itself will take you much more time, because you have to go back again a second time round or a third time round. And I suppose also paradoxically, if you think about two sides of the equation, if you're in on the buyer side of the table, I suppose the statistics are probably similar in that there are buyers who do a great job of preparing, but some, probably because they're very busy, also don't put the energy they need to prepare. That would seem to be like a compounding effect, Gareth.
Yeah, and again, I often ask that question to commercial managers, which is how much prep time do you think your customers put into your meetings? And as you said, some do, and that's great, and that shows. However, many of them are incredibly busy. They might have 6, 7, 8 supplier meetings a day, and therefore they haven't got the time to prepare. And the onus is on you as the supplier to do that preparation. And again, if you add those two things together, if you haven't done the prep and they haven't done the prep, then you're unlikely to have a very fulfilling meeting, and that's likely to lead to frustration all round and time wasting all round.
So it's a real issue then, Gareth. In a nutshell, what's the solution?
Well, I think it's a realization that you need to put prep into your diary to make sure it's done properly. The key thing about it is having a framework so you can do it speedily and efficient. And like anything, if you've got a framework and the more you do it, actually, it doesn't have to take a lot of time to get it right. And ultimately, it's giving you that confidence and giving you more control when you're meeting your customers. So a clear preparation framework that really speeds up the time is something well worth investing in.
But also something important you said there, I think, is actually planning the time for preparation, almost as if it in itself was a separate event. So that time is carved out so you can then use that process to help you do it effectively.
Totally. If you're not putting it in, you're unlikely to do it.
Thank you.